we want to help you to reorient yourself a little bit, because we know that money is convenient, and we know that it's a portable means of exchange, and we know that it's valuable in the immediacy of gratification and all of that. But we want you to contemplate, who did you pay for your body? Who did you pay for your body?
No one.
Who was paid for this planet? Who has the deed?
No one.
To the planet. Who do you pay for the sun to come up? Who did you pay for the rain that fell? Who do you pay for the air you breathe? We're making a very annoying and logical point. Let's just try to take money out of the equation just for a little bit and acknowledge that the currency that you're exchanging is vibration, thought, energy. And the success of your portfolio is indicated to you first by the emotion that you feel, and next by the manifestation that follows. So the currency is the thought, and the indication of how well you're doing is the emotion that you're feeling. So if we can just get off the subject of money just for a little while and talk about vibrational alignment with the desires that you hold, we promise you it will spring you forward so much more quickly. It's like, let me take this subject that I've practiced. In fact, I work for a place that practices it, and I work with people who practice it. And not only do I work with people who practice it, but they practiced it from their mother, who got 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 it from their mother. So there's this long history of practice of this subject of money. And Abraham, I'd like you to help me clean it up here today. And we say, or not. In other words, it's not likely that we're going to help you or anyone clean up your negative thought. We can't get you to stop thinking a thought. When we say you create your own reality, we hear you all the time. You say, cancel. Try to suck the thought back before law of attraction gets hold of it and gives you something you don't want. And we say, there is no exclusion in this universe. This is an attraction-based universe. So rather than no longer trying to not think that thought, we want you to think another thought. And so what we're saying to you is, if we can convince you to no longer think about money. Oh, we're thinking about money. Well, don't think about money. I'm thinking about the money that I'm not supposed to think about. Rather than not thinking about money, let's think about something else. Let's talk about energy. Let's talk about thought. Let's talk about the vortex. Let's talk about who you really are. Let's talk about what you really want. Let's talk about emotion. Let's talk about the power of your ability to choose a thought that feels better. And we got to tell you, anybody who is feeling that they don't have enough money, we've got to get off the subject of money, because every time we talk about the subject of money, even when we know it from our in the vortex point of view, it always activates you wherever you are on the subject. Every subject is two subjects, what is wanted and the opposite of what is wanted. And so when you pick up the long stick that has money on one end of it and not enough on the other end of it, you activate it right where you are. And we think that the subject of money is too long talked about in this situation. There's too much vibration about it. We can make so much more headway if we never talk to you about money ever again. We don't want to talk about money. We don't want to talk about money. We want to talk about your worthiness. We want to talk about who you are as source energy. We want to talk about the power of your thought. We want to talk about the universal forces that have your back. We want to talk about how everything is always working out for you, unless you get hold of a thought that poisons your mind and holds you in resistance in a chronic way and prevents you from getting what you want, you see? This subject is not about money. It's about attraction. It's about being a vibrational match to what I do want rather than a vibrational match to what I don't want, you see. Do you have any idea of the prosperity that you are experiencing in this moment with all of the billions of people on this planet, many of whom would like to be sitting in this chair on this day? Do you understand the prosperity that has just fallen upon you as a result of you raising your hand and being in a place with strong enough wanting? This is prosperity that is...
It's true.
Extreme, you see. This is something that money can't buy. Ask them. They all paid. They all paid. You didn't pay extra money to get in this chair. You didn't have some extra hook somewhere. You didn't pull some strings, you see. It was a vibrational reason that you're in this chair. The reason you're in this chair is because of the work you do, you have put more vibration around the subject of money into your vortex of creation than any person that we have ever experienced. Ever. Ever. The vibrational legacy, the abundance that is amassed because of your kind heart and the way you feel about all those people that you're trying, and the stories that you hear day after day and all that you've been asking for yourself and on behalf of others, there is a veritable fortune that has been amassed that you hold the key to, that your inner being stands as the keeper of, holding it steady, always for you, shining the light on it and calling you to it, you see. And even though you had a fair amount of resistance going on, the power of your desire was so significant that we could not see you. There you were. Bright light with a bushel over it, sort of. You say. Feel more abundant now, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Feel pretty good.
Look at the light in your eyes and the smile on your face and the glow of your skin. You are abundant, you see. You are abundant. You are blessed in more ways than we can describe. And the money cannot defy someone who feels that way. Thank you. So people come to you, and it's such an interesting thing because the whole system is so screwy because they plead their needy case. And it's so interesting because in a society that doesn't understand vibration, sometimes when people plead a needy case, then you give up the goods, sort of. But it gives you a whole distorted view of things because that neediness keeps you from the vortex of creation that is the abundance that's been gathered for you, you see. And so what you have to convey to the people that you want to help is there is abundance for you, and I see you worthy of it. But it's a hard seat to sit in because then they want to say, well, if you see me worthy of it, then give me some of it, you see. It takes a powerful presence to understand that you are the creator of your own reality. The greatest gift that you could give to those people who are asking you for that is by saying to them, the power of your wanting is going to bring something to you. And whether it comes through this vortex called me and this position that I stand in, and some of it very well may, there's much more abundance than will ever flow through here lining up for you. In other words, you cannot continue to beat the drum of justifying the need for something by poking around at what's wrong and be a vibrational match to what you want. So a sort of cliche, an easy way to say it is, you have to start looking toward the solution instead of dramatizing the problem. We were talking about this earlier with our friend as we were talking about if you're in the vortex and they're far from it, they can't hear you. And so a lot of people go way out of the vortex so they can be heard, but then you can't help them. And so what it really comes down to is nobody really helps anybody very much unless they're in the vortex. So you really have no choice other than to get in the vortex and believe in their well-being. So how could you find a way of witnessing someone who is living under a bridge and being in the vortex at the same time? So you could say, hey man, you're about as free an individual as I've ever met. There are so many of us who work here who would like to go lay under the bridge with you. Out of earshot of our supervisor, out of earshot of the responsibilities that we have. Seems to me that you've been satisfying some pretty basic intentions of your own by seeking freedom. I think we're all freedom seekers, you could say. I think we're all freedom seekers. And wouldn't it be nice if we could find our freedom and our abundance also? Say to him, I'm working on this because I don't think I have to give up one for the other. I think I can be free and abundant. And don't get me wrong, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. But I applaud your quest for freedom. I applaud your way of finding your freedom. And if you really felt as good as I think I would feel in that freedom, then I think other good things would begin to flow to you. that really is the most powerful thing that you could say. You have to find a way of finding something in whatever it is that you're giving your attention to. Because what are the alternatives? Do you have the power with every person that you interact with to just write a check and save them from their plight?
No.
So are we correct in saying that in the majority of cases, you can't really do that much to relieve them from where they are?
It's true.
So you have two options. You can see them where they are and suffer for them, or you can see them where they are and feel appreciation for them. In other words, you can see them in a way that jerks you out of the vortex, or you can find a way to see them that puts you in the vortex. What do you think Jesus was doing? In other words, he found a way to be in the vortex while he beheld them. It's the same sort of thing. What happens to most people is they just have knee-jerk reactions to whatever they're seeing. So if they see something sad, they're sad. And if they see something happier, they're happier. In other words, they sort of go with the wind, and then they feel out of control. But when you train yourself on purpose to think the thoughts, so which thought feels better to you? This poor man is sleeping in the cold and he's hungry under the bridge. Or this guy has chosen freedom over everything else. It matters so much to him that he is living like that. What a guy. Which feels better to you?
The latter one.
And so, which serves him better?
The latter one.
You see. And what other option do you have? So sometimes people say, oh, Abraham, we fear that you are teaching selfishness. And we say, indeed we are. Because if you're not selfish enough to align yourself with all that you are, then you have nothing to give anyone anyway. If you're not selfish enough to align with the power and energy that creates worlds, then you have nothing to flow to another. So let's say you're seeing someone having a horrible experience. Maybe they're on the other side of the world. Maybe it's up close to you and you're seeing it in your day's work. So you know what you don't want, which means you put a new and improved version of them in your vortex of creation. So there it is. And now, let's say that you've been listening and you want to feel good and you are reaching for the best thought that you can find. So you have deliberately and with no small effort, we agree, trained yourself into positive expectation about this one and this one and this one. So that you are connected to source and holding them as your object of attention at the same time. Do you know that one who's connected to the stream of well-being is more powerful than millions who are not? Everyone should have such a friend, you see. Not ready to give them a handout, not even really capable of giving them a handout, but seeing them and expecting good things for them. You holding them as your object of attention in the way that their inner being does. Do you know that is how you build bridges for them, you see. And as you have the luxury of time that you can focus on this one that way and on another one that way and on another one that way, you'll begin to hear things from them such as, I always feel at my best when I see you. You'll start seeing them. If they are people that you see on a regular basis, you'll start seeing them responding to the expectation that you are holding for them, you see. In other words, they're coming to you for assistance. They just have no idea the depth of assistance that you are able to give them. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. It is exhilarating to come together with the likes of you who are out here exploring the contrast. It is our desire to impart to you our appreciation of your important part and to shine a bright light on what you've managed to create, which is present tense for us and only slightly future tense for you. It has been satisfying to feel you resonating with the vibrational concepts of the vortex. And it is pleasing to us that you are more awakened to your individual awareness of your proximity to who you really are. If you heard nothing from us at all, like you've heard today, but if you had heard from your grandmother that it's always best to think thoughts that please you, you would still know everything that is important to you. We make too much of this, really we do. But mostly as we try to figure out all that stuff that's outside the vortex. Because when you get into vibrational alignment with who you really are, then everything that you are begins to take on a new light. You begin to remember the bigness of who you are, and even more